The movie opens with Sunny and Larissa in the middle of a heated argument. Sunny is clearly furious, and the reason is obvious. Larissa got a little too close to her husband. But what really drives Sunny crazy is the fact that he is in love with her, and there is already something secret going on between them. Larissa pushes back and reminds him that this man is her husband, and she has to act normally around him. If she suddenly pulled away, people would start suspecting something. After that tense moment, the story jumps back to the past to show how everything actually started. We see Sunny traveling to a big city, full of hope, looking for a job. He heads straight to a car repair shop where he has an interview for a mechanic position. But luck is not on his side. Sunny arrives late, and when he gets there, he finds out the job has already been given to someone else. This hits him hard. Sunny does not even have a place to sleep, and he definitely does not have money for a hotel. Still, he refuses to give up right away. He spends the rest of the day walking around the city, searching for any kind of work. With no other options left, Sunny decides to spend the night sitting on a bench in the street. Even then, he holds on to a small bit of hope, telling himself that tomorrow might bring a solution, maybe a job, maybe a place to stay. Around the same time, an elderly man named George is walking toward his car. Suddenly, he senses that someone is following him. Before he can react, a thief rushes at him near the car, trying to steal it. George fights back, but he is no match for the attacker, who quickly overpowers him. All of this is happening while Sunny is sitting on the bench, watching from a distance. At first, he hesitates, but when he realizes the situation is getting dangerous, he jumps in. Sunny runs over and attacks the thief, landing a strong blow. The thief panics, backs off, and takes off running. George is shaken but alive. He thanks Sunny repeatedly, clearly aware that Sunny just saved his life. Moments later, a police officer arrives at the scene. George explains what happened, and while he is talking, his wife Larissa shows up, worried and rushing to check on him. It becomes immediately clear that Larissa is a beautiful woman, and she is much younger than George, by more than 30 years. George tells her that if it were not for Sunny, he would probably be dead by now. Larissa turns to Sunny, shakes his hand, and thanks him herself. Grateful and still shaken, George decides to invite Sunny over for dinner at his house. During dinner, George starts asking Sunny about his life. Sunny opens up and tells him that he has no family and grew up in an orphanage. He also explains that he is a mechanic and came to the city hoping to work at a repair shop, but the job slipped away from him. George is surprised and tells Sunny that he actually owns a car repair workshop himself. Even more surprising, he mentions that he has been looking for a mechanic to help him. Then George makes Sunny an offer that feels almost unreal. He tells him he can work at the shop, earn a good salary, and on top of that, he can stay in a room at their house. For Sunny, it feels like every problem in his life just disappeared at once. Without a second thought, he accepts the offer. That night, we see Sunny lying in bed in his new room. But in the other part of the house, it is clear that Larissa is not happy at all. She confronts George, blaming him for bringing a homeless stranger into their home, someone they know nothing about, and even letting him live under the same roof. George calmly defends his decision. He reminds her that Sunny saved his life, and helping him now is simply returning that favor. Sunny overhears their conversation, and it hits him hard. He feels a deep sadness, and starts questioning himself. Did he make a mistake by accepting this offer? Does he really belong here? Eventually, he pushes those thoughts away and falls asleep. The next day, Sunny starts working at the repair shop. He is determined to prove himself. Very quickly, George is impressed by Sunny's skills, his attitude, and the way he works. Sunny even helps finish tasks George has been struggling to handle alone. George then shows Sunny a very special car. He explains that he has been working on it for a long time and plans to give it as a gift to his wife, Larissa. The problem is, the car is still not finished. Sunny promises him that he will take care of it and complete the repairs soon. Time passes, and Sunny works tirelessly at the shop. Thanks to his effort, the workshop starts doing better than ever, and George is extremely happy with the results. Meanwhile, Sunny begins to notice something strange. Larissa is always watching him. She does not say anything or show any clear emotion, which leaves Sunny confused. He cannot tell if she is unhappy about his presence, or if there is something else going on. At one point, George notices Larissa looking at Sunny and assumes she is still worried about him. He reassures her, telling her that Sunny is a good young man and that he is going to be a real asset to their business. After that, Sunny starts smiling at Larissa every time she looks at him, but she completely ignores him, turns away, and walks off as if he does not exist. Later that night, Sunny notices something strange. From the window of her room, Larissa is quietly watching him. That is when doubt turns into suspicion. Sunny starts to believe she might actually be attracted to him. One day, Sunny catches himself staring at Larissa again. This time, she snaps. She walks straight up to him, clearly angry, and demands to know why he keeps looking at her. She warns him that if she ever catches him doing it again, again, she will kick him out of the job. Sunny quickly tells her that he definitely does not want to lose his work, but as long as he is here, he says he will never get tired of looking at her, because she is incredibly beautiful. Then he asks a question that hits a nerve. Why would a woman like her marry an old man like George? Larissa gets furious. She scolds Sunny for talking badly about George, especially since George loves him and treats him well. Sunny explains that he cares about George too, but he did not lie when he said she was beautiful. He admits it openly. He tells her that he is attracted to her, maybe even falling for her. Before she can walk away, he drops another bomb. He says that she is attracted to him too, but she is just trying to hide it. Larissa goes silent. She does not argue. She does not deny it. She simply turns around and leaves. That night at dinner, Sunny and Larissa keep exchanging glances across the table, careful not to let George notice. At that moment, it becomes clear that Larissa really is interested in Sunny. After dinner, George asks Sunny to go to the kitchen and grab some glasses so they can have a drink together. As soon as Sunny steps into the kitchen, he moves closer to Larissa. She tries to resist, but she is too weak in front of him. Just as the moment is about to go too far, George calls out for Sunny, telling him to hurry up. The moment breaks instantly. Late that night, Sunny lies awake, unable to stop thinking about Larissa. She is doing the exact same thing in her room. Then a dangerous idea forms in Sunny's mind, and he decides to act on it. He goes online and searches for missing car parts from the workshop. The next day, he tells George that he found a store that sells exactly what they need. George takes the car and leaves to buy the parts. It quickly becomes clear that this was Sunny's plan all along, to get George out of the house. As soon as George leaves, Larissa comes to Sunny and asks where her husband went. Sunny tells her that George went to get spare parts and will not be back for at least 4 hours. With the house empty, the distance between them disappears. They move closer, and a quiet romantic moment happens between them. A while later, George returns with the spare parts and hands them to Sunny. The two of them start working together on the car until they finally manage to fix it. George is overjoyed when the engine comes back to life. He takes the car out for a test drive, smiling like a child. Not long after, George returns, and Larissa is shocked when he hands her the car keys. He tells her the car is a gift from him. Larissa can hardly believe it. She is overwhelmed with happiness. She gets into the car with George, and they drive around together for a while. That evening, George invites Sunny to have a drink to celebrate fixing the car. George keeps drinking more and more until he gets completely drunk and eventually passes out on the couch. Seeing the opportunity, Sunny goes upstairs to Larissa's bedroom. That night, they finally give in and spend the night together. During that night, Larissa opens up to Sunny and tells him the real reason she married George. She explains that she was poor and completely alone, taking any job she could just to survive. Then she met George. He loved her and decided to marry her. She admits that she is not happy in her life with George. Then she surprises Sunny by telling him that from the moment he arrived, she felt drawn to him. She says she knew she was supposed to be with Sunny, not George. Sunny is overwhelmed with happiness. He can hardly believe what he is hearing. The next day, George takes Sunny to see a piece of land that he owns. He explains that a new highway will soon be built nearby, which will cause the value of the land to skyrocket. George tells him about his big plan. He wants to build a racing circuit on that land and turn it into a major project. To do that, he plans to take a bank loan using the land as collateral. Then George drops another surprise. He tells Sunny that he wants him to be the manager of this new project. Sunny immediately goes to Larissa and tells her everything. Larissa is thrilled by the news, but at the same time, she admits something dark. She says she can no longer live with George. To her, life with him feels like wasted time. Still, she wants his wealth, and she wants a future with Sunny. Larissa tells Sunny that this is their chance. If they get rid of George, all of his money will belong to them, and they can finally live together and enjoy everything. But Sunny refuses. He cannot accept the idea. No matter what, he will not do anything to harm George. When night falls, Larissa starts acting on purpose. She gets closer to George and makes sure Sunny sees everything. Her goal is simple and dangerous. She wants Sunny to get jealous enough to finally agree to get rid of George. This is where the story catches up with the opening scene of the movie. Larissa tells Sunny that if he truly loves her, then he has to eliminate George. She makes it clear that it cannot look like a crime. Everything must appear as a tragic accident so no one will ever suspect them. She pushes him to come up with a plan. The next day, Sunny prepares a deadly trap inside the workshop. He brings Larissa with him so she can see exactly how it will happen. Sunny connects the tractor to the hydraulic lift in a way that guarantees disaster. If the lift is lowered, the tractor will crash down on George and kill him instantly. Sunny explains every detail to Larissa. He tells her that she will be the one to lower the lift. Sunny himself will be under the tractor with George, pretending to work on it. When Sunny gives her the signal, she must lower the lift without George noticing. If they do it this way, it will look like a workplace accident, and no one will question it. Everything is ready, and they decide to move fast. The next day, Sonny tells George that there is a problem with the tractor that he cannot fix alone. George joins him, and the two of them get under the tractor to work on it together. At that moment, Larissa quietly enters the workshop without George noticing. She walks to the lift and waits for Sonny's signal. As soon as Larissa lowers the lift, the tractor drops instantly. It crashes down on George, killing him on the spot. But the plan does not go perfectly. Sonny's hand gets trapped under the tractor. In pain and panic, he tells Larissa to leave immediately before anyone sees her. He also notices blood on her shoe and orders her to get rid of it right away. Larissa does exactly as he says. She rushes out, changes her shoe, and washes the blood off her foot. She finds an old pair of shoes nearby and puts them on instead. Then she jumps into her car and drives away fast. On the road, she throws her original shoe out the window to get rid of it. To create an alibi, Larissa goes straight to a supermarket so it looks like she was never near the workshop at the time of the accident. Meanwhile, Sonny calls the police and reports what happened. Larissa later receives a phone call from the police informing her that her husband is dead. She rushes back home, where she meets Investigator Ford, the officer in charge of the case. Larissa puts on an act, pretending to be completely devastated, crying non-stop over George's death. After that, the police officially begin investigating the incident, led by Investigator Ford. While talking to a colleague, Ford admits that he does not believe this was just an accident. He says he is suspicious of both Sonny and Larissa. Ford explains his reasoning. When he first met Larissa, she was wearing old shoes that clearly did not match her dress. That already seemed strange. On top of that, Larissa is young, beautiful, and the person who benefits the most from George's death, since she will inherit all of his money. As for Sonny, Ford points out that he is a young man living and working closely with a beautiful woman married to an old man. It would not be surprising if there was something going on between them. In Ford's mind, everything points to one conclusion. Sonny and Larissa planned George's death together, made it look like an accident, and now want to enjoy his wealth. Ford decides to move quickly and starts searching for solid evidence. The first thing he looks for is Larissa's missing shoe. But Sonny is already one step ahead. He finds the shoe before the police do and burns it, making sure no evidence is left behind. After George's funeral, Sonny and Larissa begin living together openly. They move forward with George's project and start carrying out his plans as if nothing happened. But all the while, Investigator Ford is watching them closely. He is convinced they are responsible for George's death. He just needs one strong piece of evidence to finally prove it. One day, Larissa drops a huge bomb. She tells Sonny that she is pregnant. Sonny is overwhelmed with happiness. For the first time, everything feels worth it. But the very next day, Investigator Ford shows up at the workshop to talk to Sonny. Ford asks him directly about his relationship with Larissa, George's wife. Then he reveals something disturbing. The forensic report proves that the tractor fell on George twice. That means someone deliberately lowered the hydraulic lift more than once. This was not a simple accident. Someone made sure George died. Hearing this, Sonny's mind drifts back to the night of the incident, and this is where the truth becomes even darker. When Larissa first lowered the lift, the tractor fell onto George's body, but not his head. George was still alive. Panicking, Sonny told Larissa to raise the lift again. Then Sonny himself adjusted George's position, carefully lining him up so the tractor would fall directly on his head. In that moment, George was still conscious. He begged Sonny not to do it. He pleaded for his life, but Sonny ignored him. He shouted at Larissa to lower the lift again. The tractor came down a second time, and this time, it killed George instantly. Sonny snaps back from his memories and looks Ford straight in the eye. He tells him that he has nothing new to add and that he already said everything during the investigation. Sonny knows Ford suspects them, but he also knows that Ford still does not have solid proof against either him or Larissa. After that visit, Larissa starts distancing herself from Sonny. She keeps her space, avoids being seen with him, and acts cold. She knows the house is under surveillance and wants to remove any suspicion. When Sonny confronts her about pulling away, she tells him she is scared. She says she is thinking about her unborn child and does not want to end up in prison. She warns him that Ford will never stop chasing them. That is when Sonny makes a decision that changes everything. He decides to sacrifice himself. If someone has to pay, it will be him. He wants to protect Larissa and the child at all costs. Sonny goes to the police station and confesses. He admits that he planned George's death. He claims he did it out of desire for Larissa and greed for the money she would inherit. Around the same time, Larissa finds a message from Sonny. In it, he tells her that he turned himself in. He tells her he loves her and asks her to take care of herself and their child. Strangely, Larissa does not look devastated. She barely reacts. Years pass. We see Sonny sitting in prison, waiting for his trial. Meanwhile, Larissa Larissa returns to living her life normally. She continues George's project until it finally succeeds and starts making money. Throughout all these years, she keeps sending letters to Sunny. Inside them are photos of a little boy, showing him growing year after year. Every time Sunny sees those pictures, his heart fills with joy. He believes he made the right choice by taking the blame to protect Larissa and his son. But what Sunny does not know is the most brutal truth of all. That child is not his. Larissa was never pregnant with Sunny's baby. The photos she sent him were actually of her secretary's son. Everything was part of Larissa's plan. She manipulated Sunny into taking the entire crime on himself. The reality is, Larissa never loved Sunny. She only used him to get rid of George. And the truth goes even deeper. The thief who attacked George at the beginning of the movie was not random. He was Larissa's lover. From the start, Larissa and that man planned to kill George together. When Sunny intervened and ruined that plan, Larissa simply changed strategies. She created a new plan, one that revolved entirely around Sunny. We even see how cold Larissa is toward her original lover. Every time he gets close to her, she pushes him away. It becomes clear that she was planning to get rid of him too eventually. Sunny's sudden appearance just forced her to rearrange everything. In the end, we understand the full picture. Larissa never truly loved George. She never loved Sunny. She never even loved the man she had known for years. She only loved herself and the life she wanted to build, no matter the cost. The movie ends with Sunny being taken away to face his final punishment, paying for a crime he was manipulated into owning alone. Meanwhile, Larissa is shown living freely, like a queen who finally got everything she ever wanted. And with that, the film comes to a chilling end.